What's up, builders, and welcome back to another VELI Bros. Vitaly and Edward's LEGO Ideas. I'm Vitaly.
And I'm Edward. And in the last video, we had told you guys that we would be reviewing both the coaster and the loop coaster and basically comparing them, showing you guys pros and cons from both of them, and ultimately deciding which one we like best.
Yeah.
So, if you guys didn't see the last video, we actually got the loop coaster, we built it, we had a speed build on it, we reviewed it, showed you guys how it works, just hand cranked and with a motor. So that's basically what last video was, and yeah, I think we could just get onto this video then.
Give us a moment while we put the roller coasters on the table. Both roller coasters are here, and the new one is this one, obviously, and the old one from 4 years ago is right here on Edward's side.
We haven't really like touched this one since we used it because it kind of broke a little, but it didn't really break. We just didn't really know what was going on, but we fixed it. We just had to tighten the rubber band down here, and it works very well now. So first, I guess we could talk about the minifigures. Both the sets have 11 minifigures, one operator, a few people who are selling their own products, but in the coaster's case, there's vendors, right?
Yeah.
But in the coaster's case, there's actually a ticket booth.
Yeah.
So the coaster actually has 2 people that work at it, but the loop only has one, just the
Operator.
just the operator.
Roller coaster, yeah.
And I think both the sets minifigs are actually really nice. I like both of them. Also, something that's cool with both of them is a lot of the minifigs, I'd say at least 9 out of 11 have double faces,
yeah,
which is just really cool. Like, a lot of it's just barfing faces or scared faces, which is a really nice touch.
Now on to aesthetics.
I think the loop looks so much better than the coaster.
The colors pop out, like the yellow, I don't know, it's just...
Yellow and the blue, it's
the really
nice
dark
colors together.
Yeah.
I mean, the red and the white, I'm not saying it's bad. It's a good combination. It just doesn't pop out as much as the loop does. So I think I want to say the loop coaster is more detailed than this coaster. But then again, there are some things that kind of switch my opinion in that.
Yeah. Like the pathway is a lot longer.
There's also like a lot more stuff across the pathway.
Yeah. I mean, this is a closed loop. Like it doesn't really end, but this one ends. But it's just like really short.
Right, and like Vitaly just mentioned, this one doesn't really have an entrance. That one does, which is kind of what makes me switch.
One thing that I really like about this set is that it doesn't have too much repetition in it. Like as you guys can see in this set, way too many beams.
Yeah, the only, like, these sets did have their annoying, repetitive
annoyances
parts to build.
Yeah.
But this one really was annoying. Like, your fingers hurt. You sat there for like a straight hour just putting all the beams, all the pieces together just to make these supports, and your fingers were killing you.
Yeah.
This one, not as much. It was actually, I like this one a lot better with that, because there wasn't as much, putting together a bunch of supports. It was more, building with brakes instead of, putting axles through these and everything. I mean, there was a few on the huge tower, but it wasn't really that bad compared to what we had to go through from this.
Now onto the logos of the roller coasters.
So personally, I think the coaster logo has a lot more thought and detail put into it. The loop logo, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's just
tiles.
Plain. It's so plain. So because the coaster has like a little roller coaster going on the S, which is really cool and really nice, and it's just a lot more detailed. I enjoyed building that logo, but the loop one was kind of plain. It was just there. I mean, it still looks cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not as nice as the coaster, so that's something for the coaster.
Both sets have similar amount of tracks, just length is a lot different, because I counted and this one's got like 42 and this one has like 43 to 44, and it doesn't look like it.
Right, so obviously the loop coaster is shorter. I wish they'd made it a little bigger because it's just 2 loops and loops back around to the beginning. I wish they had added just a little bit more, maybe a little bit bigger, even if it meant that it'd be a little more expensive, but this set is already expensive compared to how many pieces it has. But I just wish they made it a little longer, maybe added a little bit more tracks. I get it, like the main thing about this is the loops, but it would still have been nice to add more stuff. The coaster, on the other hand, it's massive. Like, it has so many like cool details. And the coaster, it's just so much longer. You get to experience more throughout the entire thing. And there's more to it than just, you know, simple turn or just dip. So yeah, I think I'd like the coaster better just because it's longer. It takes more time to go through, which is kind of more entertaining than it just quickly speeding through.
Yeah.
But the loop is still really cool. It still has its benefits as well.
Let's talk about price. Honestly, if I would talk about pricing, I'd choose the coaster out of that.
Oh yeah, the coaster
because
is so much fun.
This roller coaster is 4,123 pieces.
24
pieces, and I believe it was around $370.
380, 70, give or take.
This on itself, which has, Edward, would you please read out the pieces to me?
3,756 pieces.
And it was straight $400.
What is that, Lego? Come on. I know it's a new set. I know it has new pieces. I know it's just very, very awesome.
400 plus more pieces than this, and it was a lot cheaper.
Like, come on. What is that about?
Also, when we were carrying these, this is a lot heavier than this because, as you can see, the pieces are scattered around everywhere in here.
Yeah, the coaster is less dense. The loop one's kind of compact and really squished together. So it was way heavier to carry than this one.
Now let's talk mechanics and how the coaster actually gets to run. I personally, my favorite part about Legos are when they actually get to move. I like engineering, making my own like special way of bringing them up because it's just something that I like, but I never got the chance to build them in both of these because that was part of the part that Edward built, so I never got to really enjoy the mechanics of how the coaster actually ran. So the coaster is like a regular roller coaster where, as you can see, you start off at the beginning, brings you down. There's an actual chain going up all the way.
And as it gets to the top, this part, which I think was pretty cool, is also pretty cool to build. There are wheels that actually spin it across, which I think is just a little nice detail. It's actually really cool how they did that. Usually there's a little dip at the top, which gets you going down to the rest. But I still think it's really cool how they did that. It was still really cool to build. Also, in the beginning, there is a little tire that sets the coaster going. Yeah. And it also stops it as well. I think that's also really nice. Yeah, so that's really cool. So you could just have it in an endless loop. The only annoying part about that is sometimes the coaster doesn't actually make it all the way to the incline, which is kind of annoying because then you have to nudge it a little. But other than that, I really like the coaster. Anyway, onto the loop. So
my favorite part, guys.
I think I built all the mechanics to this part.
Every single thing that made the roller coaster go, Edward built. I just had to build everything that made the roller coaster,
you know, loop and look aesthetically nice.
Yeah.
So these, like, I was mind blown when I was building this. I was like, the fact that they figured out to do this is just incredible. Like, it's just really smart. It was really fun to build the mechanics, and it's really, really cool. And just as the coaster has, there is a little tire that slows the roller coaster down, but it also
runs with everything else, so you don't have to manually crank it yourself.
Yeah, which is really, really nice. And the part where the roller coaster stops, and as soon as the lift comes down, it is let into the lift. It is just so cool.
Yeah.
And how the lift works is amazing. I can't even explain it. Honestly, if I were to choose, I'd say I like the loops mechanics so much better.
A lot.
It was really fun to build, and it's just so cool.
I just like how they figured out a way for the lift to reset and come back down.
Yeah, that's really
I
nice.
thought you'd have to reverse the motor for it to come back down.
I did too, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I did too.
But that would be no fun with Lego. I
just want to compare the two stations. I feel like the coaster, it has a nice station, but it's not really the best. Like, it has a few details. It's not really all that detailed, though. It's just very simple and not really all that nice. The loop, they put more thought into it. The roof looks really cool. The inside, again, isn't all that detailed, but it still has a few details. I think I prefer the loops better.
Also, we forgot to talk about this. At the top of the coaster, they don't have tires. It's curved down tracks that just lets gravity take it down.
Which is what I was saying earlier. That's how you know, your typical roller coaster that you go to these days actually has.
So now, the time to run, guys.
Yeah, it's the time to run them at the same time. We could compare them very well that way. Let's just turn the motors on.
One control right here will control both of them at the same exact time.
I'm gonna go in the front just to spin the wheel so it actually works. See, they get stuck there, so we just have to give it a little nudge. And
here we go.
The latch is on.
Both of them running at the same time, guys. That is amazing.
So that's really interesting. This coaster actually went before the loop coaster, and the loop coaster made it back before this one, which is what I was saying earlier. It just has a shorter track. It's more fast, a lot faster, which is kind of annoying, which is kind of why I like the coaster on that part a little more. So let's just see it run again. This is cool. Look at it go.
They're both going pretty fast.
Yeah. We connected L motors to these, so...
It's a lot longer, and I don't know, it's just... They both went up at the same exact time.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah, this is just really cool. The coaster takes longer, and it's just a lot more fun to watch. Yeah. It's easier to watch as well, but there's so much more to the loop coaster. There's just so much more, and it's just, I don't know. This one's tough, guys.
Even though that one is faster, they both go up at the exact same time.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
By the time the lift comes back down, this is already onto the chain.
Right. So I guess basically they're same speed. If you really think about it, that's actually really cool. I don't know if that was intended, but that's really cool.
That is so cool, guys. Both of our roller coasters, we finally got this one to not skip gears anymore, or grind its gears.
I do wish they had put more than just downhills and bumps in this one, and just a few turns, which is another reason why I kind of like this one more, but it's just so hard to choose between the two. Like, it's impossible.
Like, this one's not confined to just the area it's in. It kind of goes out a little.
Right.
This one is confined within a perfect rectangle, except this area comes out a little. Let's start with the roller coaster that you guys never saw us build, because when we got it, we never had this channel.
Yeah, so we're starting with the coaster. We're just going to show you guys a little run through, show you guys what's going on there in case you can't really see from that far, because
you get distracted by this too. Alrighty, Edward is gonna let them go, and they're off.
So here is just going up the chain at a little do not stand up sign, which I think is a really cool detail. And then it gets to the tires, which pushes it along. Then it goes through a drop, curve, and then just loops down back to its original spot. And if you push the tire in the beginning, it comes looping back around, and it's just really, really nice. A little boring, but it's what it is. It was his first ever full roller coaster, so it's still really cool.
Yeah. Now on to this one, which you guys, if you have not watched, go watch the video right now before you see this.
The review and speed build on this set. Alright, so first the coaster is brought up by the lift, which is a really, really cool mechanic.
Pretty cool.
Then once it gets to the top, it's set down the drop, through the loops, and back down. It goes pretty fast.
With the L motor.
Especially with the L motor, which is kind of a downside. I like how the coaster goes slower, but, it's still really cool how it goes fast and the loops and everything. I do like the loop coaster a lot. Like, we're not saying any of these are bad. We're not saying we don't like one or the other. We like both of them. We're just trying to figure out which one we like better. And honestly, I don't even have a conclusion yet. I think it's time we decide which one we like best. And trust me, that's not going to be easy.
No. We have come to the conclusion. I have my opinion. The roller coaster I am leaning towards most, and why, is the loop. I have to tell you why. Because I'm more of a guy who likes Legos that work and have gears and mechanics. I like engineering, and the engineering in this is really cool. The way they got it to go up, reset, and how the tire is connected to everything else. It just makes me want to lean more towards this because the mechanics of it is a lot cooler, and I just love everything mechanical.
So Vitaly, I could definitely agree with you how the mechanics are amazing in this, and also, you know, just the general design, the color choices, and all the detail. And my opinion about which set I prefer more, I probably want to go with the coaster. And the reason for that is, it's nostalgic. It's the first proper like roller coaster set Lego has ever made.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to build, to have. It was also, before we got this one, the most expensive set we've ever owned. I'm not saying I don't like the loop one. It's so cool, but I have to lean towards this one more. When we were first trying to make this decision, I wasn't really sure which one I wanted. I was about to say, I can't decide. But honestly, I saw Vitaly walk over there, and he had to push a bunch of stuff in from the loop coaster.
A lot of these supports were coming out, which did affect the timing of this coming down before the treads, which pick it up.
Yeah, so I saw that, and that's kind of annoying having to fix it. So that's what kind of made me lean toward this one as well. Like, you don't have to fix much stuff on here. Obviously, I had to fix one thing, but that's just because, you know, it was getting old. It's like old set. It's been here. The rubber band's just getting loose.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So, yeah. Also, there's just a lot of things in this set that I like a little more than the loop coaster. It's just more realistic than the loop coaster, I think. So yeah, that's kind of why I chose this set. But they're both really, really great sets. If you guys have one or the other, I mean, lucky, because they're really nice sets.
The coaster is actually retired, guys, which is saddening, but I mean,
yeah,
Lego's gotta do what they gotta do.
They're both really great sets. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Tell us in the comments below which one was your favorite set and why.
If you guys have a favorite, tell us why. If you guys have one of these sets, tell us. You don't just let us know. Let us know how you guys like it, if you like it or not, if you enjoyed it.
If you'd like to privately chat with us, our email is in our About section on our homepage, on our YouTube page. So,
anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we hope to see you guys in our next video. That's Vitaly.
And that's Edward.
And we're the VELI Bros. And don't forget, live life Lego.